Hi, welcome to Elaine Enlightenings's video blog number 36. Today we're going to talk about lesson 26 in A Course in Miracles, and I'm going to share with you one of my concerns, and we're going to tap on that concern, and I'll show you how to use EFT tapping, the style that I use, to help integrate this lesson and to also to release the fears. And I feel really vulnerable about sharing this and had a lot of resistance to doing so, so I know it's going to be really important that I do this video blog today. And so I'm going to give a little background to my situation, just a little bit, to kind of lay a foundation for this lesson. So today's lesson is my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Now we couldn't ever feel attacked unless we first had a thought of attack that we had projected onto others. It's really that simple. It may seem like it's too simplistic, or it may seem frustrating, and that's because the ego doesn't want us to take responsibility for what is happening in our experience. Now, in my lifetime, I chose to go this role of trying to decide what was a really submissive wife, what was a submissive woman is all about, believing this was the role that was mine to take, and thought it was a very biblical, honorable thing to do. And I got a real eye-opener yesterday as I was tapping this lesson on this particular pattern in my life. And I felt like I received some clarity. So let's see if I can express a little bit about that. So my concern is about that I feel abused, I feel misunderstood, and the idea is that you could use the word bullying if you want it. I feel like that's an appropriate word in this situation. There again, it's going to be my interpretation of bullying that we're going to be tapping on because it's my perception. But I find that most of these are universal beliefs. So even if you don't relate to what I'm talking about today at all, or if you're a man, you can substitute what you're concerned about, or you can tap along with mine and let your mind help you make the parallel of what works for you, of what you would want to substitute. So in this, in my lifetime as an adult, I really sought after this role of a submissive woman, and during my marriage to my husband that passed 12 years ago, and I did a video blog about 2 back on grief, where we tapped on grief. So that has an interest with you, or you resonates, you could go back to that video blog as well. And in that marriage, my husband never required me to be submissive in any way, or he was very much allowed me to think for myself, and that allowed me to kind of pursue. And I don't regret pursuing this avenue. I'm just sharing with you an interesting parallel. So during that time, I really sought after what does that mean in my life. And then to give a little background, I mean, as far as the way I was raised, the traditional method of disciplinarian, I see it now as more of a bullying type of parenting skill, which I have used on all 4 of my own children. So I'm just being really honest about that and really open. But that's my perception now, okay? And so the deal is that I developed this whole unworthiness belief, and through that I developed this whole idea of what it was to be submissive. And I really believed that women were the weaker. I've mentioned that before, just more of the weaker of the two, of the male and female role, and also that my role was to be in the background. And of course, I did project this belief out, and I did teach it to my children. So basically, what I saw is interesting is that it really turned out that all that really meant was that I was afraid of being in my full power. I was afraid of being, really stepping into my feminine power, feminine energy. So in the process of trying to be this really submissive woman, I was really squelching the feminine role, and the feminine energy, I mean. because that's the very spiritual, intuitive energy, and that is what I squelched because I really was looking to outside authority for my direction and that type of a thing. So I wasn't independent. But throughout that, I can see now a lot of patterns, things that I developed or attracted into my life as a result of this fear of being powerful, fear of being worthy. So I created this identity for myself, which right now where I sit, very few situations where I feel abused or bullied. Very, very few. So the level, intensity of this whole pattern has come way, 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 way down. But it's still there. So that means I'm still holding on to this identity. This is why I'm addressing it today, okay? And what was very interesting to me is just that I could see that where I've attracted the death and the abuse into my life, like after my husband passed away, then I really attracted abuse into my life and bullying to a degree that really showed. And even at that point in my life, I would say I don't deserve what God has given me. Now that right there would tell you how little I valued myself, okay? Alright, so my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. You can't be both vulnerable and invulnerable at the same time. Very important to realize that obviously they're just conflicting ideas. We are created by God as totally invulnerable. That's why we're addressing it the way we are in this lesson. It's okay if it doesn't make any sense, but let's go ahead and tap this and we're going to move on. So we'll take a deep breath. Get yourself grounded. Get present. Tune into your emotions, your feelings, and just repeat after me on karate chop. Today I am concerned about abuse. I am concerned about being bullied. And I am concerned about being misunderstood and heard and seen. Let's go to the top of the head. This thought is an attack upon myself. I'm really concerned about abuse. I am afraid that silence will happen. I'm afraid that rejection will happen. I'm afraid that blame will happen. I'm afraid that hate will happen. I'm afraid that anger will happen. I'm afraid that division will happen. I'm afraid that violence will happen. I am afraid that death will happen. This thought is an attack upon myself. Because your attack thoughts will be projected, you will fear attack. And if you fear attack, you must believe that you are not invulnerable. Attack thoughts therefore make you vulnerable in your own mind, which is where the attack thoughts are. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. They contradict each other. The idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. Thus they have attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you can no longer believe in yourself. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. Practice with today's idea will help you to understand that vulnerability and invulnerability is the result of your own thoughts. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Nothing except your thoughts can make you think you're vulnerable. And nothing except your thoughts can prove to you this is so. Oh, excuse me. Let's just do that phrase again. And nothing except your thoughts can prove to you this is not so. There's a reversal right there. I didn't even want to see it straight or read it correctly. 6 practice periods are required in applying today's idea. A full 2 minutes should be attempted for each of them, although the time may reduce to a minute if the discomfort is too great. Do not reduce it further. Begin by repeating the idea for today that my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. List what you're concerned about and all of your fears, and then end with this thought is an attack upon myself. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me the favorable outcome card. Thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, so this is the card that I received in response to these addressing this thought and this concern that I had. So I felt guided to share that with you, because we're never healed alone. So whenever I'm blessed with this card and I accept with gratitude, the outcome is going to be favorable, but before I've even received it, it just shows this faith. It just gives the opportunity to express the faith. So take a deep breath. See how that feels. We'll let that integrate. I know this is really important to share it with you today. Felt very vulnerable even talking about it. I've shared bits and pieces of this, but there was something about this pattern that kind of came full circle for me today. So that means that I'm in the process of letting go of a pretty big pattern, a core pattern. And it will create a quantum shift in my life for sure. And by sharing that with you, it'll also bless you. So if you're open to that idea, okay? None of these abuses could have come to me in my life had I not already first had the thoughts of abuse in my mind first. Very important to understand. Okay, this is not about blaming, although in the tapping and with my private coaching, we address that very openly, because while we're tapping, we're not creating more of it, we're actually letting it go. If you're interested in private sessions, go to taplightunlimited.com/coaching or ElaineEnlightening.com. And have a very blessed day. Bye-bye.